Well, it was going to end sometime, but I didn't think it was going to be on Wednesday afternoon. We'll talk about the Brewers' first loss of the season, taxing the bullpen. Starters aren't going long enough. We'll get to all this coming up next here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey everybody, my home away from home. I'm out of my radio studio doing this podcast on the road, covering the Final Four here in Phoenix. Left right after the Brewer game on Wednesday, a 7-3 loss, and a game I thought they were going to get. But then I got a little nervous in the seventh inning. We'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. Chuck Freeman, Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Google, Spotify, Apple. We're on all the major downloads. And, of course, go to YouTube, search Locked On Brewers, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode on Locked On Brewers. My name is Chuck Freeman, again, longtime sportscaster here in the state of Wisconsin. And out here in my hotel, just got settled in at about midnight West Coast time, which is about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was an exhausting day of travel. You don't want to hear about it, but I'll be here for the next several days. Keep it up, obviously, with Brewers baseball, but also covering the Final Four out here. So anyway, the game today, and I kind of touched on this on the show yesterday about it seemed like they were exhausting their starters, but I wasn't going to get too concerned with it, but it kind of caught up with them on Wednesday. It kind of did. They had been using 4 or 5 relievers a game for the most part this year. And, you know, Uribe has saved 3 games. They've used Payamps a lot. They were down a reliever. So JP Balkauskas had to pitch in this game because McGill went on the injured list for kind of a freak accident, getting a concussion. He fell down while he was in a store. He got a little dizzy, apparently, according to Pat Murphy, and fell down, suffered concussion. They checked him out the next morning, concussion, so they brought up Bukauskas. And Bukauskas, I put a tweet out when he came in the 7th inning. Like, oh boy, I don't feel good about this. I don't feel good about JB. And gave up a few base hits. Looked like he might get out of the inning. Gave up 2 runs. And then Bryce Wilson turned into the Bryce Wilson of the Pittsburgh Pirates that we all know and loved, and gave up a 3-run homer to Ryan Jeffers. And the score went to 6-3. They added a run in the 9th inning, 7-3. 7-3, the Twins win. And the Twins are a good team. I know they got some injuries and all that, but it's a good team. And what the Brewers did here is in the 7th inning, which I'm good with, they brought in Payamps. Payamps is the 8th inning man and the 9th inning guy. He saved the game this year. But they brought him in the 8th inning, or they brought him in the 7th inning in a situation where that they were facing the heart of the Twins order. And Murphy wanted Payamps to get some outs. And Payamps had some control issues. And Payamps, Bukauskas, and then Payamps gave 4 hits in an inning. And the Bukauskas came on, add fuel to the fire, and then Bryce Wilson sent everybody home, giving up the 3-run home run. So a 5-run inning, a 3-1 Brewer lead turned into a 6-3 Twins lead. That was it right there. But the bullpen. Yeah, they are taxing the bullpen because the Brewer starters aren't going very long. Ross made his first start, went 3 2/3 innings, and obviously he hasn't pitched in 3 years. So whatever they got out of him, they got out of him, okay? For a guy who's been pitching 3 years, did a great job. So, you know, the Brewers, that's what they went with as a 5 starter. So you knew when he was going to pitch today that you had to have the bullpen up because he wasn't going to go like 6 or 7 innings. He threw like 73 pitches. Yeah, he threw 73 pitches. So you had to have the bullpen. The bullpen was already taxed in these previous games, the previous 4 games to start the season. Bukauskas, who pitched 1 game down at AAA, came in the 7th inning. Again, Payamps, they brought him in the 7th. It didn't work. Bullpen let down. But, this is going to happen. Not going to get all excited and get all worried about it. Not at all. But the bullpen, and now this is 3 games. 3 of the first 5 games where a starter has not gone 5 innings. That's a problem. And if that's a problem that persists as the season goes on, that's really going to be a problem. And we know all about the rotation already. We don't have to get into that. But if we're handling every day going 4 or 5 relievers, 6 relievers sometimes, we're going to be shuttling guys up back and forth from Nashville, fresh arms, using 100 guys on this roster. Figuratively speaking, 100 guys on this roster. But that's because you got guys in that starting rotation who aren't 6-inning guys. Freddie, who pitches Friday against the Royals, is, but the rest of these guys aren't. They're not, and I think that's my concern, that I hope their starting pitching, their lack of bona fide starters in this rotation, is not going to catch up with them like it might have done already so far this season, because they don't have guys who are going to throw great length out of that rotation. Ross wasn't going to do it. Freddie can. Miley's on the injured list. Ray, if you got 6 great ones out of him, you kiss the ground. Okay. Junis, don't know yet. I'm thinking on the side he's not a 6 or 7 inning guy. 6-inning guy. That's what we're looking for, 6 innings. So it's going to be Johnny bullpen. And that's where the problem lies with the Milwaukee Brewers, because I think what's going to happen here is their lack of starting pitching could catch up with them. Now, this is going to take some creative stuff out of the Milwaukee Brewers in that front office. Pat Murphy, they're going to have to juggle a lot of things here. Hasn't been even a week of the season, and that bullpen looks exhausted already. They're 4-1, but again, you don't want this going the other way, and you got a tired bullpen. But you got the Mariners coming in. I think I said the Royals the other day. You got the Mariners coming in. Mariners. Felix Rodriguez and the Mariners coming in this weekend. So that's it. That's my take on the bullpen. Bullpen is obviously a little bit taxed these days. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Gametime. You want to go to Gametime? Get your tickets at Gametime. Great thing about Gametime is a few things. The Gametime app, you get baseball tickets, NBA, hockey, concert tickets, theater. It's all there. Everything is there. And what I like about it is you can click on the seat that you like, and it'll pop up. It'll just pop up, and you can just, that's the kind of seat I want. That's the one I want. Takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. But for a limited time right now, all users, you don't even have to be a first-time user. You could have used this one before. All users get $20 off any MLB purchase of $150 or more in the Gametime app with the code FIRSTPITCH. So put the code in FIRSTPITCH, $20 from now until April 14th. But download the Gametime app, last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I get my tickets from there. It's a great place to go, economical, and you're not going through 5,000 steps to get your tickets. Gametime. Check it out where you can get $20 off your next purchase of baseball tickets of $150 or more off your price. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. We are coming right back after this. Welcome back to Locked On Brewers. Chuck Freeman here out in Phoenix, Arizona, the site of the Final Four. Little trying to impromptu left right after the game today. And would have been a beautiful ride had the Brewers been 5-0, 4-1. Hey, we will take the 4-1 start of the Milwaukee Brewers with the Mariners coming to town next. A couple of bright spots in this game. Jackson Chourio, guy's doing everything in his first week of the season. Hit a solo home run, right center field. Euchre on the call. If you go to Twitter, somewhere along the line, somebody will have Euchre's call of his first home run call of the season. And that was Jackson Chourio. How about it? The first home run of Euchre for this season is Jackson Chourio. His first career home run, one of, we hope, will be many, many, many. Rhys Hoskins also lowered the boom on a home run. Again, those two hit home runs. It was a 3-1 lead. Yeah, I don't believe Hoskins, his home run was called by Euchre. I don't think so. I don't think that was called by Euchre. But I know Chourio's, in fact, was, because that's flying around Twitter. But those two gave him a 3-1 lead, and they couldn't hold on. But Hoskins batted in the 5th spot. He's moving up in the order. He's been 6th, 5th, 4th for a little bit. I want the big fella batting 4th. With the Mariners coming to town this weekend, Freddie Peralta is going to get the start coming up. And the Mariners got some good bats. Julio Rodriguez, good player. Saw them this past weekend against the Red Sox. Came out of the gate. They got some offensive power on that team, but they came out of the gate offensively a little slow. I saw they beat the Angels on Wednesday night, or they lost to the Angels 4-3. So a team that's got some nice bats, struggling a little bit offensively coming out of the gate, in particular that series over the weekend against Boston. So they come in, their record is 3-4, I want to say, off the top of my head. I didn't write that. I think it's 3-4 at this point. So nonetheless, we'll tell you more about a couple of things going on with the Brewers when we return after this timeout. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Quick abbreviated version for you guys here out on the West Coast, trying to get this thing done and get you guys some Brewer takes going into the off day on Thursday. And spring training is here and done with. It's usually out here in Phoenix, but baseball officially underway. And with baseball, you need to try this PrizePicks. PrizePicks, get into all the action. You can win up to 100 times your money with PrizePicks, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs. Take your pick of more or less for individual players. And if you like a certain matchup, go with it. PrizePicks, that's what you want to do. If you're really good and you think you got the matchups all figured out, download the PrizePicks app. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. $100. Very good deal. So what you want to do, download and give it a try. I have done it myself. Maybe you like Christian Yelich on Friday night, or you like Rhys Hoskins to keep it going. Maybe you parlay a couple of players. Man, once you do that, you really not really increase your chances of winning, but definitely increase your chances of multiplying your money. That's for sure. So go to PrizePicks today. First of all, download the app. And there's many positive experiences, and there's really nothing you need to do but download the app and try it today, and try to put together as many players as possible. And yeah, you have a chance to win up to 100 times your money with PrizePicks, but download the app today. Also, this show is brought to you in part by, we were telling you about the good folks over at Gametime, but eBay Motors. eBay Motors, they got everything to maintain your vehicle just the way you want it, up to perfect performance, whether it's speed, power, or style. eBay Motors has got you covered. 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You'll get exactly what you're looking for with eBay Guaranteed Fit. Your part is guaranteed to fit every time, or your money back, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need, all the prices you want, easy to make your car the MVP of your neighborhood. I know my car's the MVP in the neighborhood. I know Shannon's car is the MVP of the neighborhood, because ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Motors. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available for U.S. customers. We're coming right back. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. All right, everybody. Just wanted to get this together on my late night trip out here to Phoenix and get my little recap on the game. Again, Brewers lose by the count of 7-3. Offensively, it would have been great if they would have picked the team up. If the offense would have picked up the pitchers, because they're going to have to do it. Where have you heard that before? But, today's game kind of felt a little like last year, where had a couple of solo home runs. We're sitting on a 3-1 lead, And when the bullpen gave it up, it was like, oh, that was over. So kind of remind me of last year. Whereas this past weekend against the Mets, the Brewers always had ducks in the pond. The Brewers were always making some noise. Today, not so much. Off day Thursday, get back at it with Peralta on the hill. Hopefully Freddie can follow up the terrific performance of 8 strikeouts that he had in the opener last Friday against the Mets, and hopefully take 2 or 3. That's all you can do. Take 2 or 3. You love to sweep the Mariners, but you'll take 2 or 3. That's going to do it. Chuck Freeman, Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. You can get us on Google, Spotify, Apple, on all the major downloads, and go to our growing YouTube page. Search Locked On Brewers, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode on Locked On Brewers. Talk to you all later on, everybody.